Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we are going to be exploring how to create some beautiful and animated carousel view in SwiftUI. So our carousel will display a series of colored rectangles with shadows, allowing user to scroll horizontally through them. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to set up SwiftUI content, basically the main view, with an array of colors representing our carousel items. Okay, so we're going to basically go ahead and create a private color set or color array. Okay, and this type is going to be color, and essentially this is going to have all different kind of colors. So let's go ahead and select some colors. Right, so we have few colors here. Now for the body property, what we are going to do is we're going to basically have a scroll view, and inside the scroll view we're going to have an H stack for horizontal scrolling. Okay, so we're going to simply have a scroll view with horizontal axis, basically the horizontal scroll view. And let's go ahead and refresh our preview section as well. So while we are building, we can see what is going on in the view itself. And we're going to have an H stack inside, and this H stack is going to have some spacing. So spacing is going to be about 25 points. And then we're going to have a for each inside this. And this for each is going to go from 0 to color array dot count. Okay, and each value is going to be ID by itself, so just ID by itself, and then we actually get access to the index for each value. So we're going to say for each index, basically we're going to create a rounded rectangle. Okay, rounded rectangle's corner radius is going to be about 20 points. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to set the foreground color or foreground style as the color array, and we're going to reach out to the index that we have and apply the gradient on that. Okay, so we're going to have colored gradient on this, and let's go ahead and set shadow for this guy as well. And for the radius, we're going to set the shadow radius as 5 points, and let's set X as 5 points and Y as 5 points as well. So we have a bit of a shadow dropped right behind this view. Okay, next we're gonna basically have the frame. So let's go ahead and set the frame, and for the frame width, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reach out to UI screen's main width, main bounds width, and then we're gonna subtract about 100 points from there. So UI screen dot main dot bounds dot width minus 100, and the height is going to be about 400 points. Okay, so our view should look something like this. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to align the scroll content to the view. Okay, and the way we're going to do that is by applying this scroll target layout onto the view, onto the main container view on the H stack. Okay, and then we're gonna set the content margin for this guy to be 50 points for the scroll content. Okay, and also we're gonna set the scroll target behavior as view aligned. Okay, so what they should do is basically it should bring out our content or basically our cell to mainly display the content within the screen. Okay, so as you can see, I'm scrolling and letting it go, and basically until the entire cell is visible onto the screen, our view actually just slides out. Okay, so this is the behavior that we have, it's basically a paged layout kind. Now let's talk about a few of these modifiers that we have used a bit. So first of all, scroll target behavior. Now the scroll target behavior modifier is basically used to define how scroll view aligns its content. In our case, we are using the view aligned option, which aligns the content in such a way that it always snaps to the nearest edge of the scroll view. Now this behavior ensures that when users swipe the scroll through the carousel, the item neatly basically align and easily distinguishable with displaying all the content on the screen. Okay, next is basically the scroll target layout. The scroll target layout modifier works in conjunction with the scroll target behavior to align the content of the scroll view. This ensures that the content layout adjusts dynamically based on the scroll position. And in our example, we have basically applied it to the H stack containing the colored rectangle. This modifier also helps maintain the consistency of the layout and the appearance of our carousel items as the user interacts with them. Okay, now let's enhance our carousel with some animation. So we'll apply an opacity and the scale effect to the rectangles as they scroll into the view. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply some scroll transition. So right after the frame, we're going to apply scroll transition. Okay, and scroll transition, we are basically going to rely on the transition content. So we essentially get the effect. So this is the content, the effect that we are getting, and the phase that we are in. Okay, and basically we're simply going to say take the content and apply opacity on this. If the phase is identity, that means like, it's the center one, then apply the opacity as 1. Otherwise, for the rest of the views, apply the opacity as 0.5. Okay, just like that. So notice that our main view, which is at the center, or like, the fully visible view on the screen, is fully opaque, versus like, transparency is applied on this next view, which is coming into the scene. And you can see as the view appears or disappears from the screen, it actually kind of fades, and this becomes more prominent if we change this to 0.1. So you're gonna see like, it actually comes completely into the view and it fades out, kind of like this. Okay, so this is basically how it is, the opacity is taking effect. So is identity, phase.is identity, meaning the view that is actually main on the screen. Okay, now we're gonna have the scale effect, and we're gonna apply that, and we're gonna say on the y-axis, check the phase.is identity, meaning like, the main content, keep its scale as 1, otherwise reduce the other cell's scale to 0.7, or let's do 0.5, half of the size. Okay, so now as you scroll, you're gonna see like basically item growing in size and becoming like 100% of scale, or 1 scale, as it becomes snaps into the scene. Okay, so this is the behavior that we are creating. Now let's talk about scroll transition modifier. The scroll transition modifier basically allows us to apply custom animation to the content. Okay, and to basically the content as it scrolls into the view. Now this basically takes a closure right here. It takes a closure with 2 parameters, basically content and the phase. Now inside the closure, we define the animation effect that we want to apply to the content based on the phase of the scroll. So the first parameter represents the content view, that's content that's being basically scrolled upon, which is like, our this H stack view right here. And the phase represents the scroll phase in which the information is about to be like, about to appear, the current scroll position and the velocity. Okay, so in our example, we are applying opacity and the scale effect to these rectangles based on the scroll phase. When an item is fully visible, that means it's fully at the center, or like, fully visible on the screen, it is in in an identity state. Okay, so that's why we are using face.isIdentity to identify which style we want to apply this effect to. Okay, now as it appears, like the item appears, it's fully opaque and it's at a normal scale. As it scrolls out of the view or into the view, its opacity decreases and scale also reduces, creating a smooth transition effect. Now, by leveraging these modifiers, we can create some visually appealing interactive carousel views inside SwiftUI. These modifiers offer flexibility in defining the behavior and the layout and the animation of scrolling content. Okay, so this is how you can create some carousel views, custom carousel views for your own app just by having a few lines of code inside SwiftUI. And with that, we have reached the end of this video. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in another video.